We are calling to order. First up is approval of last month's minutes.
I'll make a motion. It's Joanne. To
Okay,
approve.
do we have a second?
Brian
I'll second
seconds.
that.
Okay, Brian L. seconds. Is there any discussion on these? I didn't see anything wrong.
To me.
All in favor of accepting the minutes?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, minutes are accepted. Reports. Joe, did you get the budget report?
Yes, I did. Thank you. It was quite lengthy this month. Lots of expenditures, but according to this, we still have $12,887.82 left.
Some of that is already kind of accounted for. Joanne, Orla and I sat down today briefly, and she's going to make a clearer spreadsheet. For example, the $1,000, which is earmarked for the payout on the NIPS,
Yeah.
that's going to get moved into another kind of holding account, for lack of a better term.
Okay.
You know, so that's still in there, even though we've accounted for it, for example. So there's a couple of things like that. I'll send the spreadsheet that Orla gives to me tomorrow to you and Brian. I think it'll be
Okay.
easier to follow than that budget sheet.
Yeah, this is a pretty archaic kind of chart. You know, this is like from an old, what do they call those old floppy disk things?
Yeah, they're super hard to follow, those reports.
Which, yes, it's very hard to read on this, but no problem.
Yeah, I have a question about Highline drones. Where I got the email forwarded from Charlie, and it said they sent an invoice for $199.64. Do we have an actual invoice for that?
Actually, that invoice, that amount is quote. I don't know why he called it an invoice, because that's what he is charging or estimating that the cost will be for the work that I talked with him about. On the entire, I think it's a PDF file, on the entire proposal, he outlines so many hours for the shoot and so many hours in editing, and then he gives a huge discount and then comes up with that amount, which is just under $200.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to know if we were getting, the invoice is something that Joanne would get to take care of.
Well, yeah, but
Yeah,
there's been some previous invoices approved. Tira's taking care of that, I had assumed, because I haven't seen any of them.
Yeah, I'm generally doing it. I just haven't paid it yet because we hadn't met since it came in. So I just.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
And by the way, it's invoice 002, dated May 24th. And that work is all contingent on getting approval from DEP. I believe will be authorized for him to take off and land and fly on the airline trail, and we won't be charged the normal $600 permit charge. So again, I don't know why he called it an invoice, except that perhaps as a startup business, he does not have all of the forms that he will eventually have. I can't answer that, and I don't believe he's monitoring this. But that's my understanding.
Long as we're covered. And Charlie, your sound is really kind of crummy. Does everybody hear the same thing I'm hearing?
Yeah, he's it's
All garbage.
probably his bandwidth.
It's because of my throat. I'll be all right now.
Oh, that's better.
I think he's got, is he on twice?
I mean, could he
Oh.
potentially be on twice? Because
Well, I
sometimes.
don't know, it's one of those phones.
It's on my phone, and this is the first that I'm hearing about it. I really don't know how to adjust the EQ on this thing while it's in progress, especially. So I will try to speak more clearly, and hope you will hear me.
Charlie, you were breaking up a little last night as well, so it's the same issue.
But I would guess it's T-Mobile service.
Either that or it's a loose wire in the back of your speaker.
It's in the cell phone.
We'll send Joanne over with her toolbox.
Yeah, check the wires in the phone, Charlie.
Okay.
All right, moving on, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, update on businesses in town. We don't have anything for new businesses or business closings.
That's good.
Yeah, at least no business.
Closings.
Yeah, Terry, just so you know, I know it came up in P&Z last night, but Morningstar Pet Farm it's still in business. Because I called them today just to see what they were doing.
Oh, that kennel that we were talking about last night?
Yeah, somebody said that they were no longer in business, which I just called today just to make sure that they were, and they fully are.
Oh, good. Thank you, Brad.
That was
I didn't know there
yeah,
was any
that's a
question.
sidebar conversation, but yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's still good. In case we heard something even after the meeting, we know that Brian checked.
And it's not a new business, but significant to EDC, of course, is St. Joseph's School closing and
Yeah.
that building
Yeah.
becoming abandoned over there.
Yes, that's terrible.
Yeah, they're not there's a whole bunch closing. Not in town, but and the old manor is coming along really well too.
Yeah, that's looking good.
It's very good.
We'll have an authentic bed and breakfast. Because the other one downtown doesn't do full serving. I don't know. They can't use the kitchen or something somehow. One of those yellow mansions that we had gone to a couple years ago. So we'll see how this one does.
As far as I know, their model isn't actually exactly a B&B. It's
Right.
It's an inn. It's a country inn, but I don't think Mason House is planning on serving breakfast either. Although maybe
I
I'm
don't
wrong
know.
about that.
I don't know. They called it
anyway,
a B&B, but
Well, on their permit, they're a country inn because that's what's permitted in that district right now.
oh, okay.
Just so you know, it's called the Watson House.
Yeah, Watson House, yeah.
Yeah. I knew that and forgot because I forget.
And just a side note, I did run into them in March when Lord Thompson Manor had their wedding. They have all their couples in for 2 weekends in a row. And he was very interested in what was happening with EDC. So, of course, then this all hit and I didn't reach out to him. So maybe somebody could reach out to him and maybe they get more involved. I know they're looking to build their business, and so.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind talking. I haven't talked to him in a long time. Let's see. Citizens' comments. I don't know who those phone numbers are. Are those citizens?
One of them is me. I don't know who 0082 is.
Can we ask who that is?
Well, whoever that person is muted.
Oh, so we can't always tell who attends our meetings then.
Oh, they're unmuted.
I just unmuted them. This is Amy St. Ange.
Oh,
A person with phone number ending 0082. We'd love to know who you are.
is that?
Yeah, hi, this is Brian Flaherty. I'm calling from Sullivan and Lachine. I noted that you've got an item on the schedule this evening talking about the branding campaign. So was interested and thought I'd just call in and listen along if that's all right.
Oh, sure.
Brian, it is all right, but just so you know, we're going to discuss those RFPs in an executive session, so we'd have to boot you.
Okay. All right, well, that's fine. So when you go there, I'll probably drop off and have my dinner.
Sounds good.
But thank you. Thank you.
All we needed was another Brian, so that's good.
Yeah, well, we got more.
This
Now
is,
we're at 4.
this is Amy Sinanj. When you go into executive session, I can put anybody who's not supposed to be in it into a waiting room, and then they can be brought back in automatically, and you're done with executive session.
Oh, we purposely moved it to the very last agenda item, Amy,
Okay,
so
okay,
that
Yeah.
shouldn't be necessary.
okay. Well,
And I'll hang up. I want to be, I will certainly be respectful of that. Thank you all.
okay.
You're certainly welcome to hang out, though, Brian Flaherty.
Much
Yeah.
obliged.
Okay. The old business, we still have progress for an EDC alternate. And I don't know about anybody else, but since I'm not seeing a lot of people in person, I haven't done anything with that.
I haven't followed up with that lead either, just because of what's going on.
Maybe after tonight, we'll have another Brian volunteer.
Perfect.
Now, and I left Thompson brochure under old business. And that was something you were talking about, Tara?
Yeah, that's the thing I've been going back and forth about with my colleagues on the ERTD. So just so you know, and it's possible that the chair of the marketing committee for that might come in, although if he's not here by now, he probably won't. But anyway, Chris Regan from Old Mystic Village is the chair of the marketing committee for that, and I am also on the marketing committee. He and I have been strong advocates for this matching program, you know, to help not just municipalities, but municipalities or industry representatives or whatever do regional marketing. So that was, you know, the Z-Fold brochure, and Chris and I are totally on board with this, but because it's a state government program, it is moving too slow. I had a phone conversation with Chris earlier, and I told him that, you know, we have fiscal year-end pressure coming up, and we have to allocate that money to something. So if he and I weren't able to convince the ERTD to move forward with that, essentially at last week's meeting, which we were not, that I would come back and tell you guys that we can allocate these funds for this RFP. It's just a shuffle, but just to make it neater. And the money that we got reimbursed from not ERTD, Eastern Connecticut Association of Realtors for that grant, once that gets deposited into 21, then we can start talking about that project again. So it's just sort of moving stuff around a little bit. The point is, the money that we had set aside for the brochure is what we're going to encumber for the marketing and brand development plan funds instead. So for the time being, you can table the brochure.
Okay. Okay, thank you. New business. We had talked last time about bringing up Community Day and possible additions to it, so I threw that in there. We were talking about possibly adding the town yard sale since that didn't happen. Seems there was something else, but I don't remember now.
Tira, do you want me to?
Renee, you want to jump in on this? I was just saying it.
Community Day Committee has met a few times in the last couple of weeks, and again, trying to figure out, like everybody else, what are we doing? What's it going to look like? We've gone back and forth a few times. I'm pretty sure the day as we know it is not going to go forward, but we haven't made that ultimate decision. We will be meeting next week to do that. We talked about breaking off and doing the tag sale for one, like you mentioned. We are going to go forward with that in August, so that's going to happen in August. For the upscale art show, that was a great success last time as part of Community Day, we thought we might just do that aspect with maybe some artists, vendor artists. So we've been kicking around different ideas. The other one was, so with Community Day, we celebrate what's great about Thompson, what we have to offer, which includes our businesses, our nonprofits, civic organizations, our schools. And we did get word that the schools will not be performing at all until at least January. So middle school, our Fortaser, which is your elementary band, and the high school band would not be participating. So that kind of takes a good portion of our entertainment off the table as well. So we don't have final answers on that. I imagine we will make that next week when we meet again.
Yep.
Okay. Because also along with that, we would have to start, EDC would have to start thinking about business of the year. So I'll put at least that part of it on for July, and we'll see if that can happen. We'll see what the climate looks like.
Sounds good.
Okay, now progress reports. Zoning regs. We should have an update on that one, right?
Oh, do we? Yeah, we had a meeting last night, didn't we, Brian? Santos.
Oh, I feel like we have them every other night.
Yeah, pretty much. So we are in end game territory. We've had now 3 meetings to review the public comments received on the proposed draft. As always, they go slower than I'd like them to, because I just like to zip, 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 but it's okay. The discussion is still good. And each, and these are final discussions essentially for P&Z. So whatever gets redrafted out of these discussions, that's going to be the thing that goes to vote. I figure we've got at least 2 more of these discussion evenings. The next one is a week from tonight. After that, we will have an informal Q&A, after I post the new final draft, so that people can just plain old ask questions, right? Why is this? What is this? I'm sure people are going to yell at me. That's fine. Who is going to be on that panel? I haven't really sat down. It's probably going to be me, Joe Perotti, maybe Carolyn. I don't think Marla will want to be involved, although I'll certainly ask her. And I'd like to ask John Rice and Randy as the other 2 officers for P&Z, but that's somewhat up in the air. And that is really, we'll schedule a block of time, an hour and a half, dial in. If you have a question, we'll do our best to answer it. And that's, again, informal, so it's not taking the place of the public hearing. So after that, there would be the public hearing, at which point we would receive public comment. That, as you know, is not a question and answer period. That is just people telling us what they think. And after that, we'll leave the public hearing open for an extra week to receive email comments for those who are concerned about the inability to meet in person. After that, they'll close the public hearing, vote on them, and adopt them. So, it's a couple weeks out, 3-4 weeks out, probably. My original goal of having them finished and adopted by the end of the fiscal year, which would be June 30th, is out the window, but it's okay. As long as we've got them adopted by the end of July, I can have, I'm comfortable having a month overlap with starting work on the POCD. That's okay. But it's going pretty well. Most of what we've discussed over the past couple of years is going to make it into that draft. Some things are going to get revised a little bit coming out, but it's all right.
Yeah, I just want to give Tira kudos. She has done a phenomenal job of not only putting the damn thing together, but organizing all of the comments and keeping them, keeping them at a level so we understand and giving feedback. So it's been really, really good. Just want to say
Thank
that.
you, Brian.
Yay,
Yay.
We're getting there, guys.
very nice. Thank you.
All right, electronic sign for the town hall.
Well, there's no real updates. One of the things I did talk about, Orla, was making sure that that excess money from that IOB gets encumbered over to Graphics Unlimited. She's got that in a kind of account where it won't get absorbed back into the general fund, so we don't have to like scramble to encumber that over. But you know, we've got that $8,000 and change to add to the 10 that we've already encumbered. Still only halfway. You know, at some point we're going to have to start thinking seriously about where we're coming up with the other half of that money. But the plan is there. We've got funds socked aside, and we'll keep moving that forward too.
Thank you, Tara. All right, now the train wreck site. I had a note for, to ask about the invoice, but we're all set with that. That counter is pretty neat, Charlie.
Which was that? What was pretty neat, Brian?
That counter for the trails.
Oh, yes. Yes, I hope everybody took time to look at that. That came in detailed discussion at last night's Board of Selectmen meeting. As a direct result of a letter which Brian Lafredo drafted, the Trails Committee signed off on it, Recreation Director signed off on it, Branding Committee signed off on it, all asking for a higher priority from Department of Public Works. And I use those charts to show to all of the selectmen and anybody who's watching how much of an increase we've had on usage on that trail. I think what we came away with were 2 points, and Brian Lafredo will chime in on this. But the first is that we definitely need to understand when DPW is setting up their calendar. Is it for a 6-month block of time? Is it seasonal? Is it for a full year? But when are they doing it? So we can have some input earlier in the process. And the second element of that is that because we didn't get in earlier in the process, we probably won't see any significant work done out there until after the asphalt plant closes for the season.
After what closes?
The asphalt, the pavement, they get the blacktop. That's seasonal. They can make it all year long, but they can really only transport it and apply it when it's warm.
Yeah.
So when that runs out, then they'll have staffing available. Definitely got ourselves as the Trails Committee and as this element of branding onto the radar with all members of the Board of Selectmen. So we should expect that if they hear something from any of these component groups, it will not be a surprise to them. There's an awareness that we believe that this is an important part, a component to moving this town into a productive range, and without some vehicle, some tool to get it in on the calendar, it won't happen. So there was a footnote on that, and I should have mentioned.
Charlie, you're really breaking up bad.
Oh, I'm sorry. The footnote, I hope you can hear me. I'll talk as close as I can to the speaker. The footnote had to do with the brochure. The Trails Committee is going to print up a supply of maps. And while we were looking for the files, we found that we had an earlier file, which most of you have seen. It was the one where we were suggesting sponsorships for printing the maps. At the branding committee meeting, we talked about the possibility of up to 5 other boards or commissions buying into a program where EDC, Brian Santos has a suggestion for putting something up on the kiosks, and if we had the QR code linking it to that page, it would be easier for people to download it. Just
That's
a
true.
thought.
Yeah, that's
That
true.
best?
Yeah, putting a QR code to that. Yeah, could look into that.
If EDC had a QR code and Historical Society did, and Recreation did, Trails did, Agriculture did, that's 5. Then maybe the last Green Valley, or maybe just put up the logo for the town of Thompson. I don't know. Trails Committee voted to spend up to $200 for printing maps and having them tri-folded. If all of these other agencies or committees or commissions are willing to buy in, the more dollars we have, the more maps we can get, and the more we can advertise what's going on in town. So,
Charlie, I have a question.
yes.
Is Trails taking the lead on actually getting the work done on the flyer or brochure?
Yes, we already have the map, and on the back side of our map is information about where to park and some information about the trail in and of itself, but nothing really about the town. So we were just talking about the Aeron Trail.
So who would need those QR codes? Who do we send those over to?
Probably to Karen Dolosh, but we're going to have the printing done at Chase Graphics. So, once the core codes are all suggested and the buy-in is committed to, then it's just a matter of getting over there. But it would have to, it would say Thompson EDC and then the QR code. So Thompson Trails and then the code. Take the visitor to all the other trails that we have.
Charlie, did you say
Yes.
they're going to get printed at Chase Graphics?
Yeah,
Okay,
so that's what we're talking about on Route 44.
Yeah.
That's where
Any other quotes? You have, because the place that we've used in Charlton, you'll get more printed for the money.
Well, I don't think it's carved in stone, but the Chase was the name that I remember. So Karen Dolosh is the chair of the Trails Committee, and she has the PDF files with the maps on them. Previously, Brian Lafrio was printing up maybe 35 or 50 at a time in his own house. And we decided, no, it's going to be a whole lot better to have them printed and tri-folded by someone who's got the infrastructure for it.
Charlie,
So, yes.
Charlie, who has the electronic, not the PDF, but the one that's you can edit?
Source file?
Did that come from Chase?
Karen can edit it.
Okay.
She has software that she can get in there and edit those things. She's done it in the past.
I'll communicate with her about some QR codes if you want.
Okay. And that's what I have about the train wreck. The other thing is the songs. I've listened to all of them, and I'm only a tiebreaker.
Yeah, that's what I was going to bring up, the songwriting.
I had some
Yeah,
pretty
so
good,
I didn't happen to check it today, but we had about 75 votes yesterday when I checked it. So the 4 songs are up there. If you haven't voted yet, please go in, listen. But more importantly than us individually going in and listening and voting and all that is the sharing. Because remember, this is a publicity effort to call attention to the trails, right? So if it stays in our immediate area, it's not serving its full function. Now, a lot of people have seen it. I can tell when I go into the YouTube channel how many views it's had. There is one candidate who is leading, but there's about a week and a half left before we take down the polling, and then on the 30th of June, the winner will be announced. The vendors to provide the recording and the video are selected. National Park Service is going to pay for those awards for the winner. And then not only does the winning entry, the winning musician get the results of that, we also will have the rights to use that in our own promotional materials. So on our websites, on Trail's website, Connecticut Deep, the Airline Trail, all of these people who are partnering on this effort for the train wreck park are going to have access to this unique thing that was created to call attention to the assets. So really, definitely listen, vote for your favorite, but absolutely share it as widely as you can over the next week.
Is that on Thompson's site, Thompson Town's website?
It's on the, actually, I think it was put up as like a news story, but the way the website's set up, it bumps things down. Let me make sure it's still there.
We talked about this at the NIP collection, and I couldn't figure out how to go and listen to these things. There's nothing that I could go to.
Facebook, it's on Facebook too. The town's
I don't
Facebook page.
Yeah, so if you go to the Thompson website, on the home page there's the news thing. So if you go to View All on the news tab, you have to scroll down. On June 6th was posted Virtual Connecticut Trails Day and the Great East Thompson Trainwreck Sunriding Competition. If you click through that, the news article has the link to the playlist and then also the link for the poll.
Okay, so this sounds like it is pretty complicated to get people to listen to it, or am I just not good at this?
Well, it's complicated. It's complicated if you're not on social media.
Oh, so if I was on Facebook, I would be able to listen to these songs.
It'd be easier to find it, click through, because that gets refreshed periodically by the intern. He's going to refresh it again on Friday. When we've got a week to go.
So it's on Thompson's Facebook page. So only people
who go to...
The town of
Thompson.
Really? Okay. So does the average person, does somebody in Putnam know about this, or do you have to be a resident to vote?
No, anybody can vote. It's just where you see it. I mean, it has been shared widely. Let me go over to the town Facebook page. Right. And I can tell you how many views it's had.
I'm going to take a moment while she's looking for that, that we all of us on all boards and commissions, especially EDC and branding, should be sharing and liking posts that the town is promoting. That's just and I know I'm guilty of it too. Oh, I didn't like it. I didn't share it. So we've got to make a conscious effort, and that'll help with us getting the word out.
Okay.
So it's had 758 views, the YouTube playlist, which is okay. I'd certainly like more. So 758 views and roughly 75 actual people going back in to vote. So it's like everything else. You get about 1 in 10 actually bothering to complete the task. So that's part of why sharing is important, and I encourage you to do that. And that's it. And like I said, it'll come up again on Friday.
I found it on a YouTube link, and I didn't look for it on Facebook. Is it on Tom's Together or any other that's easier to share from, or should I create my own post about it?
Charlie, I couldn't understand a word of that. Try turning off your video and see if it frees up enough of your. Yeah, because you're connected through your phone, right?
I am. Is that any better? Probably not.
That's a lot better.
It's infinitely better.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Is it? Okay, good. Fine, then I'll leave it that way from now on. I found it on the YouTube link that I don't remember if Tira sent it to me or how I encountered it, but I did not find it on Facebook. I wasn't really looking for it after I watched all of them on YouTube. But perfectly willing to create a post and share it out on several of the related areas that I think would stir up some interest, if there's not already a post.
Well, there are, and you can grab the ones that exist, or you can create a new one. That's all fine. The important thing, though, is not just to include the playlist, but to include the link to the poll. So make sure you grab that from whatever source you take it, because the poll is not embedded in the playlist.
Yeah, I just sent
And I
everybody.
don't see the poll embedded on that page on Thompson's website either.
Yeah, I just sent you the link on how to get both on there, Charlie.
Okay, thanks.
Yep.
I'll put them up on Facebook pages that I am working with. Okay.
Sounds good.
All right. Next up is the wayfinding plan. The June 23rd virtual community workshop. What, next Tuesday? The presenters, so that's myself, Kelsey Gensanti, John Guskowski, and Elizabeth from NPS. Had a dry run yesterday. We went through Kelsey's slideshow. She's going to do a little more. In fact, I told her that I would mention to this commission tonight, I'm going to make her temporarily an admin on the Town of Thompson Facebook so that she can do some sponsored posts. She said that'll come out of the budget they've already established. We're not going to pay extra for that, so that she can expand the reach. It's another one. It's a share it, tell your friends, get people to sign up, because that's the public engagement portion of this contract. You know, and she set it up to so that there was a pre-registration option, but very few people have taken advantage of that. It doesn't mean that there won't be a flood of people the day of, but it'd be nice to know, you know, how much response it was getting. You know, and it's just the next step in the process for them to go back and work on the final product, which is the delivery of the design for the wayfinding. Now, related to the RFP that we just put out, once we've selected our, you know, final candidates to interview, and we'll talk about that more in the executive session, these presentations are going to be part of some supplemental materials that I'll send out to the, you know, the last candidate standing kind of thing, so that they have a framework for where we are currently headed, because whoever gets selected on that has to work in conjunction with this work that we're already doing. So, but it's all chugging along, chug, chug. Okay.
And you should all be, of course, planning on attending that on Tuesday as well.
Yeah, that's at
That Zoom
6
meeting.
o'clock, right? 6 o'clock.
I think so, 6 or 6:30. I can find it again, just bear with me, I'll find it.
6 o'clock,
Yeah, that's
23rd.
okay.
Yeah, 6 to 7:30 on the 23rd.
Okay, progress reports. Nips for holiday cheer. We had another successful collection, and
Yes.
it looks like we can actually have one for July.
We can definitely have one for July. I'm still waiting to hear back from the Walmart Foundation. I made the maximum ask you can make, you know, as a locality for that, which is $5,000. If they give us that $5,000, we can go all the way through December as initially planned. But we definitely can go through July, I figure, based on what we've got in hand for funds.
All right.
Okay.
There was Gary O was there and gave us a nice promotional
Yep.
video on Facebook.
I should mention, by the way, that Brian Flaherty, who is dialed in tonight because his firm submitted a proposal under the RFP, also represents 3 Tiers for Connecticut, which was one of the donors that contributed after the feature we had in Norwich Bulletin.
Oh, good.
So, Brian, if you want to talk about that, since you're here.
I was just thinking, you're getting closer, so maybe it should be my traveling music. But yeah, no, we've been working with 3 Tiers for Connecticut. So that's the organization that It's a 501c3 partnership between the manufacturers and the wholesalers and the retailers of wine and spirits, and an environmental education group out of Norwalk that's known as Live Green. And they are doing a three-prong partnership, one being community cleanups. They did two at the end of last year, one in Norwalk, one in West Haven, to clean up all litter, but they were targeting the nips. The second piece, and the name of their campaign was Don't Trash Connecticut, Nip It in the Bin. Then they have another piece of posters and stickers that are going out to the state's 1,250 package stores to remind people to put them in the right place. And then the third is taking a little bit longer, but the third piece is they're working with the DEEP on the purchase and placement of bins in public places. The challenge being with any of those, making sure that wherever you put them, they're serviced. You certainly wouldn't want a bunch of bins showing up and then all of a sudden they get filled and this organization forgetting to talk to the Department of Public Works or the first select person or the mayors. So anyway, we saw the piece in the bulletin, sent it to Larry Cafaro, who's the head of Three Tiers for Connecticut, and he put us together, and so they were happy to do it.
Yeah, that was that was a great out of the blue for us and a great connection. So I'm glad you dialed in, so you had the chance to talk to these lovely people in person.
Yeah, thank you, Ben.
Thanks. That was wonderful. All right.
Okay, 6 months of suffrage. What's up next for that, Tira?
I'm up next for that, Brian. You're all going to go to my show. Renee can talk about it, though. I talk too much at these meetings.
So you probably caught the social media on the parade, and we probably met since then. I can't remember the last time we met. We did the parade. First, we had the sash making, the parade, and then this Sunday, the 14th, Don Williams did a presentation, a Zoom presentation on the legacy of Prudence Crandall. He had written a book and graciously agreed to do this presentation. We thought we were going to do it in the Old Town Hall, and it was going to be a bigger to-do, but it really turned out very nice. I think we had somewhere around 27 people, and great comments. I mean, we couldn't have set it up any better. People from the audience are, congratulating him on the book. They love the book, and it was just it was a really good presentation, even though we had to do it via Zoom. So yes, we've done a lot, and I'm going to let Leslie take over from here about the next one, because Recreation is on the lead for this next event, which is a concert in the park.
Sure. So our the next event for 6 months of suffrage is in connection to our first summer concert series as well. So it's Friday, July 17th at 6:30, and it's our very own Tira Penn and her band, the Snakes of the Amazonia. And so it's a free event, and we're moving the location to allow for more social distancing. So thanks to, I worked with Amy St. Ange and Rich Benoit with DPW to arrange for a flatbed truck to be placed more in the softball field area of Riverside Park, accessing the electricity from the flagpole. So it'll allow for more social distancing on the outfield of the baseball field and for folks to really spread out, and we'll be marking those areas, and so people can feel free that they can back up and spread side to side and still see and hear the band well. Whereas opposed to the gazebo, we really were restricted by the fencing and the sight lines of the gazebo. So excited about that.
Yeah, I just want to do a shout out to Leslie too, in her department, who has to do somersaults and flips and all kinds of things to make things happen these days. But the other thing I wanted to add is that one of the main goals of our 6 months of suffrage was voter registration and voter turnout was one of the main focus. So the registrar voters, both Eileen and Frank, have agreed to be on site at the concert and take registration.
Leslie, remind me what day that is?
It's July 17th,
It's a Friday,
Friday.
Thank you.
and it's one day that I won't be here.
Oh, of course it is.
Well, I'm doing an event in Boxborough. Of course, if it doesn't happen, I'll be there.
Leslie, what time?
6:30.
Thank you.
And I want to give Leslie a little pat on the back as well, actually, because, you know, obviously everybody has been wondering all along, because of the circumstances, whether any of these live events would happen. So not only did she preserve 3 weekends, she's actually doing sort of more. She's packed more in there because part of the making of the alternate location practical with that flatbed truck and actually minimizing the work for DPW, or the overtime burden for DPW, is leaving it in place for the weekend. So it's there on Friday and Saturday. So Leslie actually has proposed, and it looks like we're going forward with 2 concerts a weekend
Yeah.
on 3 weekends. So it goes from 4 concerts to 6 with less labor involved.
Yeah, I should mention that. So typically we've had anywhere from 4 to 6 concerts in Thompson over the past few years. And when talking with Rich, of course, you know, it was gonna, he's had a pretty long list of things to do. And it's, instead of doing, you know, 5 or 6 weekends in a row, 5 or 6 Fridays in a row of unloading the trailer of all the equipment, you know, moving it down to the park, we sort of agreed on 3 weekends of July, August, and September. And then I thought, well, if it's there already, we might as well do back-to-back concerts on Friday and Saturday, selecting 2 different types of bands, you know, that would appeal to different crowds, or maybe people work late on Friday or have plans on Friday. So it'll also minimize, so we hopefully won't, it's a tricky thing, and Tira said this, we want an event, but we want people to come, but not too many people. You know? So like, it's really strange to plan something, but really like, you're planning it, but you want people to come, but you don't want people to come. So I think by having the concerts back to back, it maybe, you know, it hopefully will get, you know, a good sized crowd for both, again, different types of music, and we're promoted in that way. And also it will allow us to do 3 visits to Winnie, or 3 ads in the paper, you know, and advertising each of those 3 weekends, and, you know, minimizing those costs more, as opposed to, you know, multiple trips or down to Winnie every week during that 6-week time period. So yeah, I'm hopeful. We'll see how it works out. And I think the other thing is that not a lot of folks are doing these concerts. I've been doing bi-weekly calls with rec directors in the area, and it looks like we maybe be the only ones doing July. Some folks are talking about August. So I'm hopeful that we'll get some folks from other towns as well coming in, and, you know, of course, going to some of our local restaurants and enjoying some music on a Friday and Saturday night.
Sounds good. Thank you, Liz. We're up to the pop-up village. That was another thing we had talked about possibly incorporating into Community Day.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. We've got the proposal from the student team at UConn that's in hand. I was going to ask you guys if you just want to publicly put it up on the EDC page as a share document, since there was no formal public workshop on that. I mean, the kids are gone. They're gone from school. We have the product. We have what we need. I had a very brief back and forth with Dave Eddy, who is, of course, working on the Mason House. So I don't think he's in any, like, hair on fire urgency to have a project right now. And our fiscal 21 funds aren't, you know, going to be available until next month anyway. And we can't really plan on things that bring crowds. So, you know, he knows that we're going to move forward with it. I think it was in last month's meeting that we discussed really starting to think about how to activate the program based on what we feel we can fund. And we've got the one built that would need a facade, and we should have enough funds to do one more, just with what we have budgeted for 21. So with 2 of the prototype structures, you know, how do we start to get people used to the idea, activate it? We could potentially do some more fundraising around it, depending on what things look like in January of 21. If people are starting to recover, we could talk about doing another IOB. The one we did for 6 months of suffrage was kind of a bust, but that was entirely because of the circumstances of COVID-19. That is still active and live until the end of this month. I extended it in case things improved, but we have not gone back in to do active fundraising on that because of the circumstances. It's still a good program, and if we can qualify for the match on that based on the sort of the community sustainability of the initiative, then, I mean, you saw how much money we raised for the sign design. You know, it was 20 grand we raised in a month because of the way you can strategically use it. So it's something to consider. But aside from saying we're going to do it, I think we don't need to talk about it in too much seriousness until January of 21.
We can table that one too for a little while. Okay. Now we have, we got the notice the Natchez Epic is postponed to August 9th with what he calls a friendly format. And they're looking for volunteers for that, right, Charlie?
Yeah, he's looking for, not many, but he's looking for some volunteers. And he's also very proactive to isolate the date. You'll recall he mentioned something about an event up in northern Vermont, and he referenced the Pan Mass Challenge, which is a different type of event, but it's a bicycling event that brings in serious riders from all over the place. And I believe that the weekend he's looking at is the one right behind that Pan Mass Challenge. So he's cautiously optimistic that he'll be able to start building a new regional, maybe even international bicycling event here in Thompson, with most of it starting and finishing here and a lot of it actually taking place here. So we'll have to see how that all shapes out. And as we've said at least 6 times so far this evening, it all depends on the virus. So we'll have to see.
Yeah.
Rymacon is officially canceled for the 29th. I'm on that mailing list. I assume you guys have seen that as well.
I had not seen it, but thank you.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Okay, that's all we had on the regular agenda, with the next regular meeting being scheduled for July 15th. And I left the location TBD just in case we do get to meet. But that's it. I guess from here we adjourn and then go to an executive session. I don't know how to do that. I mean,
Brian,
I believe you're correct.
Before we go into executive session, I am supposed to read the names of the the proposals received, the firms of their proposals received, and their bids, and then that's the public piece. And then I believe you have to move to go into executive session.
Hey, Tara.
Not something we do a lot. What, Brian?
No.
There's an email Brian Santos sent out that he wanted to discuss tonight. Brian, do you still have to cover that that page you wanted to print?
Yeah, sure.
Charlie had brought it up.
Yeah, what I got out of that is just research put a QR code on there, and I can do that. And then I was just going to make a full color like 8.5 by 11 just to make it, look professional, and put the QR code on there. As long as people are okay with that.
I'm okay with that, and I think that as soon as we have that QR code, we could put that onto the bottom of the maps, because people will see that, whether they see the kiosk or not.
Sure. Yeah, no problem. I'll develop that and I'll send it back out to people and we'll finalize it.
Okay.
Okay.
That's
Thanks,
all, Brian.
Brian.
Thanks, Brian.
All right, Kira, if you want to read the names.
Yeah, so we received a total of 12 proposals. I will read them in alphabetical order. From Andrews in Enfield, Connecticut. And rather than read the bid for each, because it was structured as a bid not to exceed, all of them except one were for $5,000. Even I will note which one was different. So Andrews from Enfield, Black Ink from Old Greenwich, Current from Tallahassee, Florida, Elements from Branford, Grova Creative, also from Tallahassee, Florida, Generate from Thompson, Kelly Sullivan from somewhere in Connecticut. They did not include an address for where their office is located. Peralta from Shelton, Pivot Path from Lawrenceville, Georgia. They were the only bid that came in under at $3,900. Strategic and Creative from Aurora, Illinois. Sullivan and Lashane from Hartford. And T2 Creative from Brooklyn, and that's Brooklyn, Connecticut. So those are the bids received. Brian Flaherty, who is here from Sullivan and Lashane, I will ask you to exit now. Thank you for coming on in.
Thank you all very much. I wish you a good night.
Thanks, Brian.
Thank you, Brian.
Good night, Brian.
Good night.
All right, and I'll make a motion that we move into executive session to be able to review the marketing proposals.
Second that.
Do I need to exit now? I know Marie said for me to not be in on this.
I don't really. It shouldn't be recorded. That I can tell you. And there's nothing for you to do with the minutes. Yeah. If Marie told you you should exit, you should exit. Amy, why don't you transfer the recording to me, and then Ashley won't have to come back in at all. I'll just finish the recording when it comes in, and we'll be all set.
Okay. Do you want to